Hey, how you doing? Holmes here, and welcome to my Elden Ring Dex Build, my Dual Katana Dex Build update slash guide, or guide slash update for 2023. And yeah, thought I'd make a video for this because last time when I did a build guide for my Dex build, it was near launch, which was 2022, around March if I'm remembering correctly, if not March, April. And yeah, a lot's happened since then, lots of balance patches and stuff like that, so I thought I'd do a little update here for those of you guys that are following this build still. The walkthrough still works, and I pretty much just stuck with this build for my Dex build real walkthrough, and we got through the game without much or any struggle at all. So yeah, the only struggle that there is, it's the struggle that I put on myself. Anyways, so yeah, let's first go over the stats here real quick. So I capped myself at level 150. You can go higher if you want to. I did this because this is my PvP slash PvE build. So if you want a constant, like a good match time, I guess, with other players, the PvP, 150 or 120, I believe it's a good level to stop, depending on how you want your build to be. But if you go beyond and go like level 200 and stuff like that, PvP is going to be a little bit hard to find. So runes held, needed, these don't really matter because I haven't been using them. Vigor I capped it at 60, mine 11, endurance 55. Strength I upped it to 18 for the sake of wielding, being able to wield the Nagakiba. Dexterity at 60, so we can maximize the Dex build damage. I did not touch intelligence, faith, and arcane at all. Okay, and since they changed a little bit, or they changed the equipment load function, now like the light load and medium load, there's a difference when it comes to dodging. So I'm trying to keep this build on light load as much as possible because this build utilizes dodging a lot. So yeah, next up, let's go over the equipments. So usually what I like to do is just this is my go-to setup. Just have two katanas on hand. You can have a shield on and you'll still have light load, or a bow, but you cannot have both, otherwise it's gonna put you in medium. If you're fine with that, then that's fine, but for me, I like to keep it in light low, like I said. Blocking is not too much. I don't really block much with this build, maybe in the beginning before I get the two katanas, but other than that, I rely more on dodging than blocking. So the shield is only if you go into a territory blind, I guess. But usually two katanas and a bow for kiting enemies. So for the katana, my setup is Keen Nagakiba plus 25 with Bloodhound Step as my Ash of War. And on my left hand, I have Hand of Malenia plus 10. And it has a built-in Ash of War where you cannot change, and it's going to be the Waterfowl dance. And if you're starting out, you know, you're not going to have Hand of Malenia. What's a good replacement? It's an Uchigatana. Okay, and our starting class is a samurai, so Uchigatana is going to be there in the beginning, and you can pick one up very early on in Limgrave as well, so you can dual wield the Uchigatanas, and then when you pick up the Nagakiba, that can replace the other one. So don't upgrade both Uchigatanas, just upgrade one and then drop the clean one once you get the Nagakiba. So that's the way you want to go about that. The bow doesn't really matter which one you choose. I just like long bows. So, but as long as the bow can kite the enemies, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that is just a personal preference. Oh, but only like long bows and short bows. Okay, don't go for great bows. I guess that kind of matters. So yeah, either long bow, short bow, whatever. So that's the setup when it comes to weapons. A shield, by the way, last thing I want to touch upon here. Shield, if you want to be using a shield to block attacks, I guess. Physical attack negation 100% is a must. I believe. At least that's what got me through most of the bosses when I first started out with the shield. Like when you're not really comfortable with the game yet, use a shield. So yeah, this is a good shield to pick up. It's also obtainable very early on in the game as well. It's also a Nimgrave. So yeah, so there's that. That's pretty much it. If you want torches, you can buy them. You can buy this one at the merchant, I believe. So yeah, but I only have that for walkthrough purposes, so you guys can see when I go through a location. As for my armor set, I have the Black Knife Assassin set. So we got the Black Hood, the Black Knife Armor, the Black Knife Gauntlets, and the Black Knife Greaves. Okay. Before this, I basically just stuck with the Samurai set, except I took off the helmet, so I can keep that fashion souls, I guess in this case. What is it? Fashion rings? I don't know. Moving on to talismans. We got the Viridian Amber Medallion +2, Claw Talisman, Erdtree's Favorite +2, and Greatjar's Arsenal. Okay. The Medallion +2 for this one, it boosts your maximum stamina, so we can do more dodges and still get hits in. Claw Talisman, I do a lot of jumping attacks, and in Elden Ring, jumping attacks seems like the way to go if you want to have an easier time with bosses. As long, I mean, at least for Dex builds, because it just stuns a lot of enemies. Like I would say, about 85% of the enemies will get stunned. Like you can stagger them with jumping attacks. So yeah, and Claw Talisman enhances your jumping attacks, so it's pretty good. You can switch this out for something else if you want, if you don't, if you're not using a lot of jumping attacks. Crucible Feather Talisman is pretty good too for giving you more iframes, so you can switch that out if you need to. I sometimes use the Assassin's Crimson Dagger just to get some health back, as I am cheap when it comes to healing when going through a location on video. So yeah, Taker's Cameo is also another good one for getting health back for free. Lord of Blood's Exaltation, this is good for if you're gonna be fighting a boss and you can make it bleed quick. You can get that damage boost by equipping this. You can also, if you have the Nagakiba and Uchigatana combo, you can buff both katanas with let's see what's called here. Yeah, the blood grease. So you can put it on both hands, and that's gonna proc bleed buildup on enemies / bosses really quick. So yeah, that is a choice you can do. You can either switch around like the Claw Talisman or the Erdtree's Favor. Okay, these two are the ones you can switch out for any of those talismans I just mentioned. Moving on. Oh, I should probably explain a little bit about the Erdtree's Favor. This one I have equipped because it raises maximum HP, stamina, and equipment load. Okay, so without this, if you have the bow on, it puts you in medium load. So I mean, if you're fighting bosses, you shouldn't like really need these. Okay, if you need the shield, you can just do this. You're still in light load. Okay, but I usually like to just dual wield. But if you're a beginner, I guess that is not probably not a good choice. If you're a beginner going into an Elden Ring here, probably shield and katana, that's probably the way to go. But if you're comfortable with the boss, you got its attack patterns down, then dual wield will be fine. Okay, so yeah, these two you can replace. Moving on here, Greatjar's Arsenal vastly raises maximum equipment load, so this is a must. If you want to switch out the ones that helps you on your equipment load, if your armor set is not as heavy as mine, then you can obviously get rid of Greatjar's arsenal. Okay, so like if you can get rid of this and still keep light load, then just go for that and put something else way more useful. Okay, but for me, this is the setup. I like the way it looks. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of my Dark Souls 1 character. So keeping it like this, and that's why I need that. If you're wondering about my Flask setup, I have I have 13 on Crimson tiers, 1 on Cerulean tier, and my Flask of Wondrous Physick mix is gonna be the Crimson Crystal tier and the Crimsonburst Crystal tier. The reason why I have the burst on here, it's cause for situations if I run into like Scarlet Rot or Poison, stuff like that, and I need that heal. The first tier will give me, restores my maximum HP, so no matter what it is, it'll give me that 50% back. And then the burst will just steadily restore your HP over time. So it'll fight the poison or Scarlet Rot, and you know, you don't have to keep spamming heals when you have that. So that is my setup for that. Let's look at my hotkey, I guess. I have Lantern, Spectral Seed Whistle, Mimic Tier plus 10. Okay, so these are what I got in my hotkeys. So if you're, I'm not really sure about the PC and the Xbox controls, but on PlayStation 5 it's the triangle button. You hold that and you have access to your hotkeys right here. But since we're in the central hub here in the round table hold, I can't use my mount or summon my Mimic Tier. But yeah, Lantern for lighting up locations, because there are some dark locations in Elden Ring. If you have your brightness up, I guess this is not needed. And mount, I just keep it on the right D-pad, so you know, you don't have to keep going into your menu for that. The Mimic Tier, if I ever need help, I can just hold triangle, press up on D-pad, and can summon it. For this build, I don't even need to, since Mimic Tier is required, like it sacrifices HP. We don't need to up our FP for any reason, okay? Because I don't want to like mess up my stats by upping FP. So that's why I chose Mimic Tier. But if you don't mind like upping your FP, or if you plan on going past 150, you just want to keep leveling, that's cool too. If you have the FP for it, you can choose other summons. Black Knife Tish is a pretty good one if you want to, you know, choose that. It does cost a lot of FP though, 132. I do not have that much. I think I might be able to tap into that. No, I don't even have enough. Yeah. I can't go into that. I need to upgrade it if I ever want to go into that. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. But yeah, like I said, if you have the FP for it, go ahead and you can use something else. But since I only have HP, I can only use the Mimic Tier. Okay, so that's pretty much it for PvE of the build. Now for PvP, more or less is the same. If you're invading, I guess put 2 on Cerulean so you can have something to use, like restore your FP if you end up burning it all. If you're PvPing, I guess 12 on Crimson Flask and 2 on Cerulean so you can recover your FP if you end up using it, because it cuts it in half. So if you have 2, it goes into 1. If you have 12, it goes into 6. So there's that. That's for you if you're invading. For arena PvP, I believe there are some modes where flasks can be played, but I usually just do 1v1s. So, and yeah, the flasks are off limits, so you can't even use those. And for PvP, I like my setup to be the Paledrake Talisman +2. And if I can find it. Okay, right here. Dragoncrest Greatshield Talisman. Okay, so the setup will be like this, because I still want to keep my fashion souls. So I need the Great Jar's Arsenal. But I'm not going to be using my bow or my shield for PvP, so weapon side, I'm good. Okay, the reason why I have these two, it's because there are a lot of people, like, you don't know what they have. They can have magic, or they can have a super hitting, like, melee weapon. Either or, I want to minimize the damage I take, so I don't get, like, two-shotted. So yeah, that's the reason why I have these two instead of like the Claw Talisman or something else. And yeah, this one vastly boosts non-physical damage, so if your opponent starts like spamming magic and you do get hit by it, assuming I'm not reading this incorrectly, but it should like minimize the damage you take with the Paledrake Talisman +2 here. Same goes with the Dragoncrest Greatshield. If your opponent is like a melee user that uses a heavy weapon or whatever, or fast comboing weapon, you don't want to be like getting two-shotted, so this one will boost your physical damage negation, so you won't take as much. And this is probably the best one, I think. There's no other. Yeah, this one's greatly, vastly, and enormously. So this is the ideal one to go for if you're looking to get more physical reduction or physical damage negation. So yeah, that's basically it as far as my build goes. Let's go ahead and put it to the test. Let's do one PvP match, and hopefully I don't get my ass kicked. I do have to go online for this, so give me a second while I go online. There we go. Yeah, but I have to like sign out and sign back in. This is gonna stuck me offline here, so I will see you guys in a moment. Real quick here, before we jump into the PvP part of the video, I just want to mention, for the Great Rune, I chose Radahn's Great Rune because it gives us stamina, HP, and FP boost. Okay, and make sure you activate the runes from the tower, and once you activate the rune, when you equip it, make sure you use a rune arc to actually activate the rune while you have it equipped, otherwise you're not going to get the bonus. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to throw that in there. Anyways, back to live commentary. Okay, there we go. We got the PvP setup here. We don't need any of the flasks because we're not going to need that. And any location. There we go. Wait, I am online, right? Okay. I'll do 1 out of 1. This guy gonna bow, is gonna just try to cheap shot me. Okay. There we go. Oh, he's kind of laggy. Oh shit. Oh, he poked me. Putting that stamina to work. Oh! Oh, he got a good hit on me there. Wait, what happens if I do this? You know, trick them to thinking I have the... Damn. I don't even know what combos he's using in it. Oh! We got each other. Stalemate? I think this is the first time I ever got that. Alright, let's do one more just to break the stalemate, to seeing if this build still works or not. I know I made like a video entirely on that, like seeing if the dual katana holds up in PvP or not. And I believe I got more wins than loses. So pretty damn happy about that. This guy already has like a buff on. Very interesting. Alright, here we go. Oh, it's got heavy blue. Oh shit! You ain't the only one that knows Waterfowl dance. Oh, Rivers of Blood. Rivers of Blood. I see that. Yeah. Come on. Oh, that was I'm not sure how I should feel about that, but hey, a win's a win. I don't know what that guy's like, or that person's I don't know why their equipment low is on the heavy side when you're using a katana. This is what I'm talking about the light equipment low, by the way. Like you don't want that chunky roll to be happening when you're doing PvP or PvE as well, because bosses in this game, they combo like crazy. So yeah. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, there you have it. My Dex build for Elden Ring still holding up pretty well. Actually, it improved because of the equipment load thing that they implemented with the light load. It made it a lot more easier to play with. Because before I would... I'm just rambling here, so the guy's over, by the way. I'm just talking about my past experience. So if you're here for that, thank you very much. Thank you for staying. If you want to hear me talk a little bit more, I'll probably just take like a minute or two. So yeah, anyways, before the light load thing was there, I had to rely on the Crucible Feather Talisman to up my iframes, because I couldn't dodge some bosses' attacks, and it was very difficult, even though I had light armor most of the time. Yeah, the regular dodging was just weird, and then they improved it with the light load. I can like dodge further and get a little bit more iframe, which just made the build better. I said that's so weird. Made the build better. Yeah, like Crucible Feather Talisman and Bloodhound Step was the way to go. But now you don't need those. Those are just like dodge extender. Oh, speaking of dodge extender, I should probably touch upon that real quick here. So the reason why I have Bloodhound Step even now, it's because the bosses, like I said, they have long combos in this game for some weird reason. So sometimes when you're trying to get away, if you just do regular dodging like that, they can catch you as you're recovering from the roll. But if you have Bloodhound Step, you can roll and then just step. like that, so you can get more distance. This can also work in PvP if your opponent's like rushing you, pressuring you really hard. You can get away, you know. Or you can use, you don't even need to roll first, you can use Bloodhound Step and then roll if you want to. So either or, you know, however you want to do it. But I feel like rolling first and then Bloodhound Step will probably be better. But that's just my opinion. And I think the video has gone on long enough here. It's almost 30 minutes. Well, usually that's how long I take anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my Dex build on Elden Ring. So I thank you all so very much for watching. Hopefully this video has been entertaining or helpful or enjoyable, and we all found at least one of those qualities to be in this video, then A. Hopefully y'all will stay tuned for my future projects. But until then, I really hope to catch y'all next time. Out.